You know, when I first heard about this like 48 hours ago, I didn't know if it was a hoax or like the best idea ever. Turns out it's real, so best idea ever. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to A Well-Read Nerd. I'm Amber. And as you can tell from the setup being different from my usual setup, yes, ignore the makeshift curtains in the back. That's from when I was shooting stuff for an Instagram thing a couple weeks ago, and I just keep forgetting to buy curtains, so I left it. In any case, you read the title. That either means you're one of my subscribers and you were just like, why not? Or you're interested in what I'm going to talk about, in which case, stick around, subscribe. But today I'm going to be talking about the thing that's sort of buzzing around the internet, or at least the dark little hidey holes that I go on the internet, which is a new movie that's coming out called Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Look at the nightmare fuel. Soak it into your soul. But in any case, like I said in the stinger at the beginning, or the cold open, whatever you want to call it, I wasn't sure when this first popped across one of those weird news sites that I frequently troll around on when I'm getting ready for work in the morning. I didn't know if this was a real thing or not a real thing. You know, because sometimes people make fake trailers for things and stuff gets leaked online and things like that. But no, turns out it is in fact a real movie. So the brainchild behind Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which I have to figure out a way to shorten because that's way too long, is this guy named Rhys Waterfield. He's got exactly one thing on his IMDB page besides this movie, and apparently he wrote and directed this movie. But I managed to stay on top of this enough to realize when Variety actually released an interview with him. It was late. I had to have been midday yesterday, early last night. I'm filming this on the 27th. I found out about this on, I think it was the 26th. You guys probably won't see this before the 28th. I have tomorrow off from work, so hopefully I can get it out to you fast. But with this interview, he actually talks a little bit about the movie. For starters, according to his the article itself, they filmed the entire thing in 10 days in England. Think about that. 10 days they filmed this thing in. I'm not sure if you've ever been on a movie set, but 10 days is very light when it comes to a movie set. So the fact that they did that already tells you what kind of project this is going to be. It's very much a grindhouse project. If you're unfamiliar with that, it's a type of cheap exploitative cinema that was popular in, I'd say, the 50s to the early 1980s. A lot of B movies, and by that I mean we throw around the term a lot. I don't think a lot of people realize what it is. It is basically the movie that was played second at a drive-in. I'm lucky enough to live near a drive-in, and they still have B movies, although in today's market, the A movie tends to be a kid's movie, and then the B movie is the rated R movie that everybody's there to watch anyways after the kids fall asleep. But with this interview for Variety, Waterfield actually goes into a little bit of the plot for this, because like I said, you see the images, I'll throw a couple up here on screen, that they posted to IMDB, and you don't really know what kind of movie it is. You have no idea what it is. Like I said, it looked like a hoax trailer when I first saw it. Not a hoax trailer. There actually is no trailer. Sorry. Not yet. Maybe there never will be. They're just hoping this thing's gonna float through for people like me talking about it on the internet, and you'll track it down on I don't know, Amazon or Vudu or something and rent it or buy it. But in the article, he talks about the overall plot of the movie. Now, from looking at the images, it very much looks like a standard slasher film. God, I need sleep. A slasher film. But that's not what it is. The people could easily be two psychos wearing Piglet and Winnie the Pooh masks or whatever. But actually, it's supposed to be Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. Yeah, you heard me right. That is Winnie the Pooh and Piglet getting ready to kill some lady in a hot tub. So yeah, he gives like an overarching like synopsis for this of basically, Christopher Robin went off to college and he forgot to feed. He wasn't there to feed Pooh and Piglet anymore, and so now they've gotten feral and insane. I love it personally. So like that's the premise this movie is taking itself through. A lot of blood and gore from the sounds of it. Also seems to be more of a dark comedy, which is the reason why I said it's like a grindhouse film, because those are a lot of times darkly comedic. Whether or not that was the intention, when most of the people involved are no longer around to contradict people's opinions, you go with it. But yeah, this is not being done by a large production company. Also, quick aside, the guy who's coming out with this is also having a movie that's coming out in the next year or two called Demonic Christmas Tree. So if you're like me, keep checking back on his IMDB page. Alright, so it's actually put out by a production company called Jagged Edge. Jagged Edge, from what I can see online, is very much like that, basement film studio, student kind of vibe to it. Low budget horror movies and things like that, because horror movies are cheaper to make. Let's be real, you can film them at night, and everybody thinks they're supposed to be crappily filmed on purpose, but they're not. So yeah, they do a lot of that stuff, so it's no surprise. But in the interview, they talked to a representative from the production company that's basically like, hey, you shouldn't be expecting some glamorous Hollywood thing coming out of this. Great, amazing, I love that, keep doing that. I love me a Marvel movie or whatever big budget things coming out this summer, Jurassic World of some kind. I love them, they're popcorn films. But I do like those gritty little cheap numbers, because a lot of times they're a lot more entertaining just in general. So the fact that this is a production company that sort of specializes in that, a plus. But yeah. So that's just basically the overall thing. I just mostly want to put this out here because nobody in my life cares about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Okay? Nobody cares but me. And hopefully you guys. So there's that. But something that somebody in my real life asked me, which was, doesn't Disney own Winnie the Pooh? And the answer is, not technically. So for anybody who doesn't know, Winnie the Pooh by, let's say, A. Milner? A. Milne. It was a book first. Disney acquired the rights for adaptation and distribution and owns the trademark for certain images that we now associate with Winnie the Pooh. However, the trademark on the book, or the copyright on the book, actually expired 5 months ago. I actually read through this article on CBR, the Canadian Broadcasting Radio. I'll link it down below. I don't have it pulled up right now. That talks about how trademark and copyright in the United States and how it sort of fell through the cracks. I'll put up the example here because my example is missing on here. But yeah, basically Disney owns the licensing trademark for certain images associated with Winnie the Pooh. The red shirt. It's the reason why the red shirt doesn't appear. Some of the things with the color and things like that with Piglet. Other characters like Tigger and I think Eeyore, definitely Tigger, but maybe Eeyore too, are still under copyright because of when those characters were added to the Winnie the Pooh series. That's it. That's just how copyright works. So they're not going to appear in this movie because of that. Although the director talked about there's a scene with Eeyore's grave, and it's either explicitly or alluded to the fact that Pooh and Piglet ate him. Like I said, I'm excited to see what this movie's actually like when it comes out. But, so yeah, Disney can't stop them from making this movie. Straight up cannot stop them, because the book is now public domain. So keep that in mind, people. If you ever really wanted to do something with Winnie the Pooh, just make sure it's only in the book and not something Disney added later, and you could go hog wild with it right now. It's hog wild. Have all the fun you want to have. But in any case, this is just a quick little video. So it's not my usual setup. But I just want to talk about it with you guys. I want to see if anybody else out there is interested in like this sort of like nitty gritty film that's coming out, and like the fact that it deals with like childhood stuff in the sense that like Winnie the Pooh is a children's novel, but taking it in like a dark and twisted like reimagining. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm interested to hear from you. If this isn't your thing and you clicked off, like, that's fine. That's completely fine. This is me waving my weird flag when it comes to things I like. It's been almost a year. It's time to let that, like, you know, do its thing. In any case, if you like this, if you like me talking about horror movies and things like that, if you stumble upon my channel because of this video and you want to check out some of my other content, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, stick around for a while. You can always unsubscribe later. It's not like I have a legally binding contract with you that you know of. But yeah, hit the like button if you like this, like boosting the algorithm. You know, do all that fun stuff. Comment, like I said. I seriously want to know if anybody else out there is like as excited as I am for this movie. I'm not going to be able to see it in theaters. I live in the middle of rural Kentucky. And New York City is a 45-minute drive from here, and even then it's not as much of a theater city, if you know what I mean. Not like movie theater. There's some chain theaters and stuff like that. So I have a feeling, unless I get really lucky at like a midnight showing at some of the older places, I'm not going to be able to see it in theater. So fingers crossed. It's available for streaming like same day, because I will pay the $20 and watch this twice. In any case, that's going to be it for today. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye. There's some other kids' movies that they can make horror movies out of. Like, I mean, I'm surprised Cinderella hasn't been done yet. Like, I mean, that one just, like, exudes horror. Snow White was, kind of. Snow White, Tale of Terror. Actually a good movie. Sigourney Weaver, excellent in it. Anyway, that's it for my rambling tonight. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.